Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in Jew. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching, and that's the end of it. So welcome to my video about Georgia Louise Harrison and the Fame Game. I love Georgia Louise Harrison. She's beautiful, she's glamorous, she's talented, and she's very, very famous and successful. And this is why I want to talk about her. And actually, freaking hell, she followed me on Instagram, which was a very proud moment. To have a goddess like that following me is awesome. But I want to really talk about her as an example, because I think I was kind of, my attention was struck yesterday when they started reporting that she split up with her boyfriend, because she's abroad a lot. She travels the world. She's an influencer. She's a TV star. She's done a lot, but she's always seems to be in a bikini by the beach, and doing her influencing and whatever she does, basically, right? So from the outside looking in, well, you see people, famous people, looking glamorous, and you think their lives are perfect, and you think they ask for attention because they're famous, and people should make up lies about them because they're famous, because they knew what they were getting into. But they're still human beings, aren't they? So yesterday, right, they were reporting about her breaking up with a boyfriend. I think it was bullshit. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, some asshole, probably the so-called boyfriend, went to the press, went to someone, leaked it, got paid, got loads of new followers, whatever. This is what they do. And this is the sad thing about being on television or film or being popular or whatever. People always want to use you. They always want to kind of take away kind of your happiness, because they feel that you don't deserve any happiness. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's famous. Now, the thing is, right, if you're sitting in a one-bed flat and you're saying, let's say Georgia on a beach looking as beautiful as she does, right? But you're either going to admire that, look up to that, or you're going to hate on that. There's only two things. So, and this is what happens when people see famous people, especially attractive famous people like Georgia, they look at her and they want what she's got. And they know they can't have what she's got. And this is the thing. This is why people always seem to want to tear down famous people. So this is why you see many, many people, popular people, famous people, dating each other, marrying each other, because they can't trust people on the outside. How could they? How could, I mean, look, how could Georgia even ever, excuse me, how could Georgia ever date anyone from the real world? How could Georgia date someone like me? Not that she'd want to anyway, because she wouldn't be able to trust me, because I'm not part of her world. Yes, I'm developing the first English-speaking dramas on Cypriot TV. Yes, I'm an Napa reality star, a small deal in Cyprus. But in terms of Georgia Louise Harrison and really successful reality stars, I'm not in that level. So she could never trust me. She could think that, oh, he just wants to date me because I'm famous, or he wants some of my fame, or he wants my followers, or something like that. So it's really, really sad that famous, successful people can't really trust people. And what happens is it's a very lonely life. It's a very secluded life. And this is what happens. And this is the sadness about the whole thing. And so when on the outside looking in, they've got this great, glamorous life, but it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They're still real people. They still have to pee. They still have to go, they still have to go for a number two. So the glamour is just bullshit. So you look up to these people. You think they're gods. You think they're goddesses. But they're just you and me. They're just like you and me, but they're on a screen, and you can see them just like you can see me right now. It doesn't make them any more fortunate than you. It doesn't make them impervious to heartbreak. And I just think that I would cut my right arm off before I would ever sell a story about one of my famous friends to the media just to get some followers, just to make some money, become a bit more famous. I don't think that's right. I think there's ways and means of conducting yourself in life. Don't be friends with people because they're famous. Be friends with people because they're the people you want to be around, because they've got the personalities, the heart, and the soul. We are celeb obsessed now. And we stalk them, we follow them, but at the end of the day, we've got to look at the damage that we do. First of all, focusing our whole whole lives on celebrities. My throat is terrible today, by the way, so I apologise about that. But if you focus your whole life on one person, a person you've never met before, it isn't healthy for you either, and it isn't healthy for them. You know, people say, Mick, why don't you answer your DMs? Why don't you answer your direct messages? Because you don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of scary that people are focusing on you so deeply, and this is what happens. And, you know, the reason I'm talking about Georgia is because I like Georgia. And I think it's unfair for people to go at people just because they're successful. It's unfair to go at people because they're successful and you're not. For example, anyone can set up a YouTube channel. Anyone can put their heart out there, but people don't. People are too busy criticizing other people who put themselves out there, you know. And I think it's wrong to try and take advantage of people who have become successful. If you knew the kind of lives these people lead, because they can't go out in public. They do leave their own countries, go to countries that nobody knows them, because at the end of the day, imagine how intrusive it is every time you leave your front door. Can I have an autograph? Oh, I want to be your friend. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's great to hear at first, but in the end, it really affects your mental health. So is fame a negative thing? Well, it can be. It also can be good. You've got to organise when you're famous. Look, I found out when I came out of the reality show that a lot of people in Cyprus wanted to know me, wanted to talk to me. And as the dust settled, that didn't settle. There were rumours about me sleeping with other people's wives and girlfriends. I've never approached anyone in a relationship before. They've approached me, but that's because they're not happy with their partners, because their partners are taking them for granted. And my view is, if your partners are taking you for, if you're taking someone for granted, you deserve to be cheated on. And hey, I'm a 46-year-old dude. One day I'm going to be 92 with a walking stick and bags under my eyes. So I'm a hot-blooded Mediterranean male. If someone wants sex with me and they're 6 foot and they're beautiful, why should I say no? So, but anyway, they don't care. The media and the fans and the people don't care anything to try and bring you down, because at first they love you, then they want to bring you down, and this is how the game works. So it just reminded me yesterday, seeing that article about Georgia so-called splitting up with her boyfriend, how people don't give a shit. People don't give a shit how she felt. How does she feel seeing that there, seeing that some person stitched her up? How did she feel? Not very nice. Maybe she didn't bother her, maybe she shrugged her shoulders, maybe she laughed about it, or maybe she cried. Maybe it depressed her, maybe it upset her. You don't know, but she is a human being. Just because you see people, and you see the beauty and the glamour, and you envy that and you hate them for that, just remember, sometimes famous people don't help themselves, especially with a lot of triggering stuff on social media. There's a lot of women putting down men constantly. That is triggering to an ordinary man. There's lots of women making big statements. There's lots of men making big statements in the public eye. I've seen it. I quote tweet these people because they trigger me. And sometimes I've actually started to master the art of not responding to some of the stuff what they're saying. But a famous person cannot be judged as a group. Every person is an individual. And they're not a famous person. They have a name. They have feelings. They have hopes. They have fears. And we need to start seeing these people like this, because I know it suits a lot of people to be successful and be famous, and they like the life. I like the life it's afforded me. It's brilliant. This life in Cyprus is absolutely fantastic. I doubt I'll ever go back to the UK again. Why would I? But at the end of the day, we've got to see each other as equal, rather than becoming successful and looking down on people and thinking we're better than them, or fans and the public looking at us and saying to us, you know what, oh, you think you're too good and you're this. No, you don't know what I think. I don't think that at all. I've just been fortunate. I'm sorry that you're not as fortunate as me. I wish you all the best for the future. But everyone has to deal with the ticket that they've been given. I wasn't always leading this life. I was living in a bedsit in the UK. I didn't know what I was going to do to raise money. I mean, I'm a straight male, and I used to allow men to do things, unspeakable things to me, for a bit of cash. Yes, that's it, because I couldn't pay my rent, and I was desperate. And, you know, and then one day I fell out with all my friends in the UK. No one was paying any attention to me, so I moved to Cyprus to care for my disabled parents. I was in a bar, drunk one night, and a casting producer came in and said, "Do you want to be in this reality show? It's not a big deal. Nobody knows about it, but it's good. You know, you're going to be on TV. There's going to be some notoriety. We've seen you on social media. We love it. We think you're insane. We think you're great." I thought it was a practical joke. I did it. I won it. I got lucky. And one minute I'm this guy in the UK in a bedsit. Then I'm here in Cyprus, and the world is my oyster. And sometimes these things happen. Maybe I was lucky. Maybe it was skill. I don't know. I don't care. Everyone. When I was little, I used to dream about fame and notoriety, and I never thought it happened to me. I never did. Look at me. I haven't got chiseled looks. I haven't got anything special, but it happened to me. I'm not world famous. You've probably never heard of me. You haven't heard of me. But at the end of the day, I got on a little show out here in Cyprus, and now I'm doing what I've always wanted to do, which is tell stories, which is act, which is produce, which is direct. So I feel very fortunate. I'm sorry if your dream hasn't come true. And I think this is the thing we need to look at. We are seeing a lot of celebrities, a lot of popular people ending their lives, cutting themselves, suffering with depression. It's happening. We can't blame the public, but what we can blame is the structure, the big media companies. Famous people are represented by someone. It's all very cold and shallow, and sometimes the kind of response from the public isn't a good one. We have to change how successful, famous people are viewed, so they do feel comfortable coming out, so there can be more interaction with the fans, but also the fans respect the fact that these people have families, these people have friends, and they deserve a life of their own. Nobody signs up for 100% work 24 hours a day. You don't own anyone. You don't own my time 24 hours a day. If I'm out in public, I'll see you, I'll give you a high five, I'll sign a picture. That's it. That's great. And I do it with love, and I'll look you in the eye and I'll say thank you very much. But at the end of the day, everyone deserves their own life. Everyone deserves to be happy. And nobody deserves to be pursued 24 hours a day and have shitty stories about them. And this is how I feel about Georgia Harrison and the Fame Game. You're her fan. Talk about her, say nice things about her, but allow her to have her own life and allow other people in this industry to have their own life. If they disrespect you through a post, reply to them calmly, but never get aggressive. Never take things too far. Just remember, we're all individuals, we're all different, and we're only human. Thank you very much.